Hey everyone, today we are diving deep into a powerful mental tool that can totally change your life. It's called cognitive reframing. Seriously, if you've ever felt stuck, like you're trapped in a cycle of negative thinking, well, what we're about to cover is your key to getting out. It's all about learning how to master your own mindset.
And hey, before we really get into it, if that sounds like something you're interested in, turning challenges into opportunities, do me a quick favor and hit those like and subscribe buttons. It's a huge help and lets us know you want more content just like this.
All right, so here's our game plan. We're going to kick things off with a really powerful story. Then we'll get into the why behind it, the actual science. From there, we'll get super practical with a step-by-step guide, check out some real-world examples, and finally, talk about the big picture goal and also its limits.
So, to really get what cognitive reframing is all about, I don't want to start with some boring definition. Let's start with a story. It's about how a huge setback, I'm talking a potentially career-ending injury, actually turned into an incredible breakthrough.
It all starts with this quote. Can you imagine? You're 19 years old, your entire identity is built around being an athlete, and you get seriously hurt. And then someone tells you, good. Your first thought is probably, are you kidding me? You'd be angry, confused, and that's exactly where this story begins.
And you can see the whole journey unfold right here. The person in this story, Declan Maloney, he first just thought the advice was stupid, but look what happens over time. He goes from feeling sorry for himself to just getting bored of his own negativity. And that boredom, that's what sparked the magic question. Okay, what else can I do? Suddenly, it wasn't about the injury anymore. It was about who he could be besides an athlete. And a year later, he's actually glad it happened. The disaster became the doorway.
So, you might be wondering, how in the world did that happen? Well, that amazing turnaround wasn't just some random fluke. He had actually tapped into a powerful psychological technique. So now, let's break down what was really going on inside his head. This, right here, is the absolute heart of it. On one side, you've got the fact. I got injured. It's a fact. It's real, it happened, you can't change it. But on the other side, you've got the story you tell yourself about the fact. I feel worthless. See the difference? The fact is set in stone, but the story is something you're in charge of. And if you wrote it, that means you can also rewrite it. So here's the official take. Cognitive reframing is basically the act of consciously choosing a different frame for the picture. It's not about pretending bad things aren't bad. It's not fake positivity. It's about finding a more empowering and honestly a more useful way to look at the situation. It's about taking back control from your automatic knee-jerk reactions.
And you should know, this isn't some new age trend. This stuff is legit. It's a cornerstone of what's called cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, which has been around since the 1960s. And its core idea completely flips psychology on its head. It's not the event that makes you feel a certain way, it's your thought about the event. Change the thought, and you change the feeling. Simple, but so powerful.
Okay, so the theory is great, right? But how do we actually do this? How do we put it into practice when we're in the middle of a bad mood? Well, this section is all about getting our hands dirty. Let's get into the nitty-gritty of rewriting those negative thoughts.
You can start with these two simple but profound questions. First, you ask, why does this actually bother me? That helps you nail down the negative thought. But then comes the haymaker. Question 2, why am I allowing this to bother me? Whoa, that one word, allowing, it changes everything. It reminds you that you have a choice. It pulls you out of the passenger seat and puts you right back in the driver's seat of your own mind.
Now, to reframe your thoughts, you have to know what you're up against. So let's meet enemy number 1, all or nothing thinking. This is the perfectionist's curse. It's that little voice that says, if I can't do this perfectly, I might as well not do it at all. It's pure black and white thinking, and it leaves absolutely no room for just being human.
And then there's this guy, magnification. You might know him by his other name, catastrophizing. This is when your brain takes one little mistake, one tiny setback, and blows it up into an absolute disaster movie. You make a typo in an email, and suddenly you're convinced, I'm going to get fired. It's that classic making a mountain out of a molehill.
Our third enemy is a sneaky one, jumping to conclusions. And it's got two different flavors. First, there's mind reading. That's when you just know what someone else is thinking, usually something negative about you, even with zero evidence. Then there's fortune telling, where you predict the future, and guess what? It's always bad.
In both cases, you're just making stuff up and then treating it like it's a fact.
And trust me, the list goes on and on. There's overgeneralization, where one bad experience means all future experiences will be bad. There's labeling, where you make a mistake and call yourself an idiot. And oh, those awful should statements. I should be better than this. They're just little guilt machines. Just starting to notice these patterns is a huge first step.
Okay, now for the really fun part. Let's take all this theory and see how it works in the real world, in situations you probably deal with all the time. This is where you really start to see the magic happen.
So picture this. You try to help your dad and he just yells at you. The old way of thinking, the old frame is I'm helpless. I can't do anything right. It's frustrating. But look at the new frame. If he doesn't want my help, that's on him. I'm not going to let his reaction ruin my day. See? You're not trying to change him. You're changing how you respond. You're taking your power back.
And this one is fantastic because it shows you can even be playful with it. You're on a plane, a baby is crying, you can't stop it. The old frame is pure annoyance, right? But what if you decided that sound isn't a baby? What if it's one of those screaming mandrake plants from Harry Potter? It's ridiculous, I know, but in an instant, you've shifted your feeling from total irritation to, well, maybe a little bit of amusement. You've changed the story.
Here's a classic from the workplace. Your boss gives you some feedback. The old frame, that automatic reaction, is fear. Oh no, my job is on the line. But with the new frame, it becomes an opportunity. Okay, this is my chance to show them I can listen, learn, and get even better at my job. It's the same exact event, but one path leads to anxiety and the other one leads to action.
All right, as we start to wrap this up, we need to talk about something really important. We have to understand the incredible power of this tool, but we also have to be very real about its limits. What's the ultimate goal, and when is this tool just not enough?
You see, the point of all this isn't just to feel a little bit better in the moment. The long-term goal is to build a superpower, and that superpower is emotional intelligence. It's the ability to create a little space between something happening and you reacting. It's about understanding why you feel what you feel, and then choosing what to do about it. It makes you flexible. It makes you resilient. And I really need to be crystal clear on this part. Cognitive reframing is an amazing tool for everyday life, but it is not, and I repeat, not a replacement for professional therapy. If you're dealing with something like clinical depression, severe trauma, or you're in a dangerous situation, please, the answer is not to just try and reframe your thoughts. The priority is to get professional help and get to a safe place. This is critical.
So, I want to leave you with a question to chew on. We all have them, those old, tired stories we tell ourselves on repeat. What's one negative story, one old frame that's been holding you back that you can start to challenge? And maybe, just maybe, start rewriting today. Think about it. Thanks so much for tuning in.